Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Suraya Sarwat. Today we are going to discuss about the third week of development, and the part of the third week of development I would like to discuss with you is gastrulation, included the formation of the primitive streak and the notochordal process. These are the learning objective. You should be able to define the gastrula. We will discuss the development of primitive streak and the congenital anomaly associated with this primitive streak, that is the Sacrococcygeal teratoma. You should be able to describe the developmental process of notochord formation. Okay. So before going to discuss with the definition, the gastrula is simply the appearance of a third layer in the developing disc, and that layer is called to be as a mesodermal layer, and the double layer disc embryo is now termed to be as a gastrula. So gastrulation is a process or formation of the three germ layer in the developing embryonic disc. Okay, before going to discuss with the sequential process, you should know previously about the two embryonic layer of the two embryonic layer present in the embryonic disc. These are the epiblastic cells and the hypoblastic cells, and the epiblastic cells are basically they are the totipotent cells responsible to formation of the all three types of germ layer. So at the end of the second week of development, the two germ layers and the two cavity formed, and these two cavities are the amnion and the primary yolk cell, that the epiblastic layer and the hypoblastic layer. But at the end and the beginning of the third week, the two areas identify on the ventral side or the amniotic side of the embryonic disc, and these are the buccopharyngeal or the precaudal membrane, and the area that is on the caudal part of the region is called the cloacal membrane. Appearance of these two areas will definitely define the embryonic disc into the two axes, that is the cranial and the caudal axis. And the appearance of the primitive streak on the ventral or the dorsal aspect divide or identify the embryonic ventral part and the dorsal part, and the right and the left half of the embryonic disc. So by the appearance of these three distinct area, the embryo has got a definitive axis and the definitive division. So cellular proliferation is move ahead towards the identified area in the cranial region, that is the precaudal plate, in the form of a streak, and that is called as a primitive streak. So the presence or the formation of the third layer is just because of the appearance of the primitive streak. And the primitive streak is the proliferation of cells that not only move from the caudal one towards the cranial one, but also they move laterally, and they reaches up to the lateral margin of the embryonic disc, where the disc is continued with the extra embryonic mesoderm. Okay. So what is a primitive streak? Primitive streak is the proliferation, and it is just because of the proliferation of the epiblastic cells from caudal to the cranial one, and it is termed to be as a craniocaudal axis, and they also move towards the lateral end. So because of that, the cranial axis is defined, the caudal axis is defined, the lateral part is defined, the right and the left part is defined. This primitive streak, they get proliferated, but they reaches up to a certain area where they arrange themselves in the circular or the surrounded area, and that is called the primitive node. And that primitive node is pitted, it has a depression, and that depression is termed to be as a primitive pit. Okay. Now by the appearance of the primitive streak, the cell get proliferate, and the cell get proliferated, and they replaces the hypoblastic cells to convert it into the endodermal cell layer. Because of this primitive streak proliferation, this hypoblastic cells is now termed to be as a endoderm, and now this hypoblastic cells is termed to be as a ectoderm. So the proliferation of that layer and the appearance of that layer in between these two now definitely term these two layers into ectoderm and the endoderm, and the third layer in between them is termed to be as a mesodermal layer. Okay, So what is the function of the primitive streak? The primitive streak is responsible to differentiate the craniocaudal axis of the embryo. Cranial end and the caudal end is defined. The streak is just opposite to the cranial part. Okay. The dorsal end, because it appears on the ventral surface, so the dorsal and the ventral surfaces are defined, and because it is appear in the center, the right and the left side will be identified. Factor responsible for this gastrulation are the BMP proteins, fibroblast growth factor, VNTN genes. All these are responsible for the formation of the primitive streak. But primitive streak get regressed when it proliferated to form the mesoderm. Then it going to be regress, and they regress into the lower region, and that lower region is at the region near to the cloacal membrane, and it form a insignificant small structure in the sacrococcygeal region, and they get disappeared normally in the 4th week of development. If this streak persists, it will, because this is the coccygeal region, the cloacal membrane, because the cloacal membrane is the area where the future anal region is formed, and the precaudal phase is the area where the oral cavity or the oral mouth is formed. So because the streak is responsible to develop the mesoderm, and it is developed from the epiblastic cells, so it has a multipotent or the totipotent qualities. So in the area when they are not able to regenerate and they form an anomaly, that a teratoma, this structure will comprises of all the structure that derived from the 3 germ layers, and the 3 germ layers give all these different derivatives. The outer layer ectoderm will give the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, and the neural crest cells, ectodermal lining, while the mesoderm will give the supportive element, supportive tissue of the embryo, including the circulatory system, the bone, cartilage, muscles, all they derive from the mesoderm, while the endoderm is responsible to provide the lining epithelium and the associated glands of the glandular structure, that is, for example, thyroid, the GIT, respiratory tract, and the genitourinary tract. So the mesoderm will differentiate into 3 distinct regions: paraxial mesoderm, intermediate mesoderm, and the lateral plate of mesoderm. And these 3 distinct regions are present on the right and the left side of the mesoderm because of the appearance of a structure that is called the notochord. So the notochord will divide the mesoderm into 2 halves, and each part will comprises of these 3 structure. What is the notochord? Because initially at the 3rd week the disc is like a jelly, and that notochord will provide a rigidity and toughness to that developing disc, and it is the site where the future vertebral column or the vertebral axial skeleton is formed. So they will regress in day 12 or 13 to form a structure, cord-like structure, around which the vertebral bodies is formed, and that is the notochord proper. Okay. So stages of the notochordal process is when the streak is formed and the 3rd layer is formed in between the ectoderm and the endoderm. Cranial part of the primitive node, cellular differentiation or cellular platening or the process develop, and it move towards the cranial end, and that process is called as a notochordal process. That notochordal process, they reaches up to the precaudal plate, and this they reaches up to the precaudal plate, and the lower part of the floor part of that notochordal process, it fuses with the it replaces the endoderm, and then it fuses with the endoderm. When it fuses with the endoderm, a small space is generated, degeneration occur in the floor, and a communication developed between the amnion and the yolk sac, and that communication is called as a neuroenteric canal. That communication is a temporary communication between the amnion and the umbilical vesicle. Okay, so later on this communication regresses and the floor is again continued with the formation of a notochordal plate. That plate, they get thickened, they get detached, and it again replaces by the endodermal cells, and it acquired a central part of the mesodermal layer to divide the mesoderm into right and the left half. And the mesoderm then can differentiate into three distinct regions, that is the paraxial mesoderm near to the notochord, the intermediate mesoderm, and the more distinct part or the distal part of the mesoderm that divide into the into lateral plate of the mesoderm get differentiated. Okay, so what is the fate of the notochord? The in future or in the developing stages, the notochord again that regress because the vertebral bodies are formed, the toughness as the axial skeleton is formed in the growing embryo, so it get regress and it form a only small area that is called the nucleus pulposus of the intervertebral disc in the developed embryo. So developmental stages of the notochord proper is pre-notochordal process, proliferation of the cell from the primitive plate to move towards the prechordal plate. Then the canalization of the process occur, the notochordal ectodermal fusion occur in the floor of the notochord, and the fusion, temporary communication of amnion and the yolk sac through the neuroenteric canal. Then definitive notochord is formed, that is regeneration of the endoderm only. They detach from the endoderm, enfolded, and acquired a definitive definitive future part in the mesoderm to divide the mesoderm into two. The mesodermal part, that is the paraxial mesoderm, that nearer to the notochord, will differentiate, will be responsible to form the musculature and the supportive tissue element of the axial skeleton. Then the area distal to the or the intermediate between the lateral and the paraxial is termed to be as an intermediate mesoderm, and it converted into a ridge called the urogenital ridge, and they are responsible to form the kidney and the gonads. Then the third structure is the lateral or the more distal part of the mesoderm. It differentiate into two layers, the intraembryonic somatic mesoderm and the intraembryonic splanchnic mesoderm. The intraembryonic somatic mesoderm, it goes towards the somatic part of the amnion part, and the splanchnic goes towards the umbilical part. So they will form the connective tissue element of the somatic, will form the connective tissue element of the body part, while the visceral form the connective tissue element of the gut part. Another structure that is identified during the developmental stage of the embryo is the allantois. Allantois is the protrusion of the umbilical vesicle towards the connecting stalk, and it is responsible to form a structure that is the temporary communication between the bladder through the umbilical cord, and in the future part they detach from the cloacal membrane, they detach from the cloaca, they regress to form a remnant that is called the uricus, and at the birth this uricus again they get degenerate and converted into the ligament that is called the medial umbilical ligament. Okay, now these are the brainstorming exercise, and you will be able to solve all these questions. Thank you. Thank you so much.